In this section, we are going to refactor the function chatgpt-send. Specifically, we are going to extract the code about the curl command into its own function. The first thing we are going to do is to replace that curl command line with a call to the command chatgpt-command that we are going to define right now. So define chatgpt-command that takes no argument. The docstring can be return the curl command, and we are just going to pass here the command line that we've copied previously. So we evaluate that expression that define chatgpt command. We also evaluate the next expression that redefine chatgpt-send. Before we call chatgpt-send function, we are going to empty again that buffer chatgpt request, and now we can call chatgpt-send like that and go back to that buffer, and we see that this is still working. Now we are going to extract the API key from the curl command line and put it in a variable that we're going to call chatgpt-api-key. To do that, we use the function format. The next argument is a format string that we have to modify. So we replace the OpenAI API key by %s, and we want that %s to be replaced by the value of chatgpt API key that we're going to define right now. But before, we evaluate again that expression which redefine chatgpt command. Okay, now def var of chatgpt API key. We can put the API key that we copied previously, the docstring OpenAI API key. We could evaluate that and call chatgpt-send. This will work, but I prefer before to pass it a wrong key. So for instance, foo API key like that. We evaluate that expression which defined that variable chatgpt API key with the wrong API key. Let's go into the buffer chatgpt request and empty it as we did before. And now we are going to call chatgpt-send, and we should receive an error from OpenAI. So this is what we get, which is cool because it says that incorrect API key provided, foo API key, blah 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 blah. So now let's remove that, uncomment the real API key that should work. We evaluate again that expression which redefines chatgpt API key with the right key, and now we are going to call again chatgpt-send, and we go back to that buffer, and we see that now we have a right answer, right response from OpenAI API. Finally, we are going to pass as argument of the function chatgpt-command the absolute path to the request.json file. Let's do that. So we name the argument recpath. We modify the format string like that, so by a %s, and here now we want to pass recpath. So we evaluate that expression which redefines chatgpt command as we want. Now we have to modify the chatgpt-send, and specifically the call to chatgpt command. We have to pass it the absolute path to the request file, which is, we have it here, which is this one. So we could redefine directly chatgpt-send by evaluating that whole expression, but as we did before, we are going to get an error from OpenAI first. So let's go back in that buffer chatgpt request. We remove everything here, and now instead of passing the real path to the request.json, we are going to just remove the JSON. So that file doesn't exist and this will generate an error. So we evaluate that expression, which we define chatgpt-send, and now we call chatgpt-send. We are back in our buffer chatgpt request, and we have two things: a warning from the curl command that we send, and the error that we get from OpenAI API. So we could not pass the JSON body of your request. So this is expected. Now let's undo what we did. We pass the real path to that request that exists, the file that we've been using so far in these lessons. We evaluate again that whole expression which redefines chatgpt-send, and now we call chatgpt-send, we jump into chatgpt request, and we see that everything is working correctly. We've received a response from OpenAI API. We're done with this refactoring. Next time we see how we can modify the prompt in our request.